before I make my final prediction video for the 2026 season, I wanted to go through every single NBA team's win total projection for next year and give an over or an under for that team's win total. So essentially, Vegas may just have the New York Knicks, for example, to win 50 games. I'm going to either take over or under, and we're going to do that for all 30 teams. There'll be timestamps in the description below if you want to hop to your favorite team. And if you agree or disagree with what I said, hey, let me know down below. And make sure to subscribe, because in a couple days, I will have my final predictions for the 2026 season, going 1 to 15 in each conference, all the single awards and playoff picture as well. All right, so we're going to start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are projected to win 56.5 games in the 2026 season. Last year, they kind of shocked everybody when they won 64 games in the Eastern Conference. They were the second best team record-wise in the NBA. They added Larry Nance Jr., Thomas Bryant, Lonzo Ball, and Tyrese Proctor this offseason. Ty Jerome is in Memphis. Isaac Okoro is in Chicago. They might be without Darius Garland and Max Strus to start off the year. And I'm actually going to go under on this win total. So I do expect the Cavs to lose more than 8 games this year than they did last year. And it's not because they got really worse. Now, I can be worried about the Strus injury, the Garland injury, or maybe the Ty Jerome departure. But I think that the Eastern Conference is going to get better around them. I know we talked about the Eastern Conference being wide open, and some of the top teams like last year, the Pacers and the Celtics, will be worse. But I think a lot of the bad teams in the East will be better. Therefore, I think it's going to be a more competitive schedule for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'm going to take their under. I still think they're going to finish at the top of the Eastern Conference. It's a good line. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons, who are projected to win 46.5 games in 2026. Last year, they won 44 games, just skyrocketing over their preseason win total projection last year, given that they won 18 games in the 2024 season. Cade Cunningham is going to get better this upcoming year. He can be one of the best players in the NBA. They did lose Dennis Schroeder to Sacramento, Malik Beasley to an investigation, and Tim Hardaway Jr. to Denver, but they brought in Karis LeVert. They brought in Duncan Robinson. I'm just riding this young core throughout the regular season. I think we could see a leap on both ends for Asar Thompson now that he's fully healthy at the start of the year. Ron Holland, I think, could take a year 2 jump. I love what I saw from Jalen Duren defensively and in the playoffs last year. They're going to get Jaden Ivey back on opening night as well, and everything will come together around Cade Cunningham, who can emerge as an official consensus top 10 player in the NBA, one of the best guards in the league. And I do think the Detroit Pistons will get over the 46.5 win total this year and finish around the middle part of the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks over under kind of low. It's at 42.5 wins. So Vegas is pretty much projecting Milwaukee to finish around 500. And obviously, if Giannis Antetokounmpo missed any bit of time next year, I don't know how they stay afloat. The big thing with them, they waive and stretch Damian Lillard. He's in Portland, so they go out and get Miles Turner. It looks like they're going to start Kyle Kuzma this year. They have a lot of good role players on their team, bringing in Cole Anthony, bringing in Gary Harris. I love Ryan Rollins as a breakout piece this year. I wonder how long it will take for Doc Rivers to maybe pull the plug on the Kyle Kuzma starting experiment. Maybe they're a player or two in the buyout market. I don't expect them to trade away Giannis Antetokounmpo in the regular season. If that does ever happen, it will be an off-season decision to make next year. I think this is going to be an over. I think Giannis is going to play with a chip on his shoulder this year. Still want to prove to everybody that he should be in the best player in the world conversations. A lot of people talking about Luka, Shea, obviously Nikola Jokic, and Wemby on the rise. Giannis has been a top 3 player in the league for the last half decade. He's going to show that again this year. I do think the Bucks go slightly above 500 this year and get this over. The Indiana Pacers are projected to win 37.5 games this year. They won 50 games last year, but obviously with Miles Turner in Milwaukee and Tyrese Halliburton out for the whole year, this is an expected win total. I'm going to go under here for the Indiana Pacers. I don't think they're going to end up making the play-in tournament. Now, this one was tough because Rick Carlisle will get a lot out of his guys. This is still a deep roster. There could be a breakout season for an Aaron Nesmith, Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker, or Andrew Nembhard, but I just don't think they have a high ceiling this year. They could definitely get above this and get into the play-in tournament. I would be very shocked if they were a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. I think they're going to miss Miles Turner a lot. I like Jay Huff. I like Isaiah Jackson, but they're no Miles Turner in my opinion. I don't know if we're going to see a big breakout year from a Mathurin or a Jarris Walker, and I don't know if Andrew Nembhard can carry the offensive workload that he may be expected to. So I'm going to go under here for Indiana, under 37.5 wins. And I hate to do it, Bulls fans, but I'm going to go over on your win total projection of 33.5 wins. We just know the Bulls are going to finish at the end of the lottery. They're going to be in the play-in tournament or close to it because this team will never kind of enter into a rebuild. They should trade their guys. I don't know if they will trade their guys. Maybe they finally buy out Nikola Vucevic this year after the trade deadline. I am maybe more excited about Matas Buzelis than anybody else in the NBA going into year number 2. I bought a ton of Matas Buzelis stock in the off season. I love watching Kobe White play. I like watching Josh Giddey play. I think they have great athletes on their team that have been running all around in preseason and in summer league. I do think they're going to be a team under 500. I don't think they're making the playoffs, but like they've been in the past. They're going to be too good to really bottom out. Therefore, I think they're going to win around 34, 35 games this season. All right, let's go over to the Northwest Division now, and let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won 68 games last year. We all know they won the NBA Finals. They're bringing back mainly everybody from that roster. They're projected to win 62.5 games this season, and I'm actually going to take the over on this one. I do not think they're going to get 68 wins again. Some teams at the top of the Western Conference got better. I mean, every team in the West is going to try to be competitive next year, maybe just outside the Utah Jazz, who have a lot of fun young pieces on that roster, but I do think OKC can win around 63 to 65 games this season because they won 68 games last year with Chet Holmgren missing like 70+% of that season. Hardenstein was hurt. Jay Will was hurt. We saw Jalen Williams play center for them last year. They have the reigning MVP. They have elite defenders on this team with Cason Wallace, who I think can take a leap this year. Alex Caruso, who also missed a decent chunk of time. You got Aaron Wiggins in the mix. You got Isaiah Joe. Heck, we may even see Brooks Barnheiser play for the team this year. Maybe we see something out of an Ousmane Dieng. I just like the Thunder. They have an incredibly high ceiling yet again. And J-Dub, Chet, and Shea can all have another leap to their game this season. I think this goes over. So for the Denver Nuggets, they're projected to win 54.5 games. Last year, they won 50 games with Nikola Jokic averaging basically a 30-point triple-double. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. all missed time last year. De'Ron Holmes, their rookie first-round pick, tore his Achilles in Summer League. I just think Denver got that much better this offseason. Jokic has played 69 or more games every single year of his career. He's somebody that's available all the time, and he's still the best player in the NBA, in my opinion. You have the young guys that are going to be key contributors this year. The aforementioned De'Ron Holmes, who's going to be healthy. Jalen Pickett, I think, could have an increase in workload this year with Russell Westbrook down on the team. Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, and Christian Brown in the starting lineup are all great young core pieces to have around Jokic. Michael Porter Jr. out, Cam Johnson in. That should help your ball movement and your defense. I think Jamal Murray can be an all-star this year as well. And I love the pickups of Valanciunas, Bruce Brown, and Tim Hardaway Jr. I do think the Nuggets get as close to the OKC Thunder as you can get in the Western Conference. I'm going over. Man, the Minnesota Timberwolves line is great. It's 49.5. Last year, they won 49 games. I can't confidently say they got better this offseason. Mike Conley's older. Rudy Gobert's older. Julius Randle isn't playing in that contract year. But I still love this roster. I think Anthony Edwards could win the scoring title this year and finish top 5 in MVP voting. I'm not too confident about Rob Dillingham in year 2. I'm not too confident that Terrence Shannon Jr., who I do think could be good this year, will be as good as what Nickeil Alexander-Walker was last year. I still think Minnesota can make it to the conference finals this year. I'm backing this team fully, and I think they'll be a great team. I just think this is a great line. I'm going to go under. I think they win 48 or 49 games. The Portland Trailblazers are projected to win 34.5 wins this year. Last year, they won 36, so it's actually down, although they were kind of more aggressive in the offseason. I'm going to go over, but I do think it's a slight over. I think they're going to be very close to this projection. I don't think they're going to be above 500 this year. Scoot Henderson is already going to be hurt to start off the year. They don't really have that much guard depth. It's kind of Scoot, Shaedon Sharpe, Matisse Thybulle, Marjon Beauchamp, Blake Wesley in this rotation right now. They drafted a massive project in Jan Hansen. I'm not sure if he's even going to play right away. It might just be Rob Williams. Is Jeremy Grant going to be happy in his role this upcoming year? There's a lot of bright spots for the Portland Trailblazers in their future, and definitely when Dame comes back in 2027, I think they are going to go over, but I don't think it's going to be by much. And for the Utah Jazz in this division, they're projected to win 18.5 games. Now, they won 17 last year. Clarkson's gone, Sexton's gone, John Collins is gone. I'm going to go over. 18.5 is so low for a team in 2025 where there's just so much talent throughout the league. And the Jazz have a lot of young talent. These guys are going to be playing hard this season. 3 first-round picks in the 2023 draft. Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Keontae George do not have guaranteed futures in Utah. They're going to be playing extremely hard this year. They got 2 incoming first-round picks. You have a great rim protector in Walker Kessler. Lauri Markkanen's building up his trade value. He was great for Team Finland in the Eurobasket. I still like Will Hardy as an offensive mind head coach. And Kyle Filipowski was one of the best players in Summer League. Cody Williams can't be much worse than he was last year. This team's going to be bad. They're going to lose a lot of games this year. They may even lose more than 60 games, but I do think this one goes over. All right, Atlantic Division time. The New York Knicks are projected 52.5 wins this year. I'm going over as well. The Knicks last year won 51 games, and they were relatively healthy. Jalen Brunson had a noticeable ankle injury in the second half, but they got good injury luck out of Josh Hart, who played a ton of minutes, Mikal Bridges, Anunoby, and Cat. But with their new head coach, Mike Brown, he's going to spread out the minute allocation this year, not have that Tibbs style of play. They brought in Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, Malcolm Brogdon this offseason. I expect them to deploy Mitchell Robinson or Miles McBride into the starting lineup at times as well. Have Josh Hart come off the bench. And I do think their ball movement is going to be up another level. The offense is going to be better next year. And I do think the Knicks will finish at the top of the Eastern Conference with the Cavs. They're going to go over. The Philadelphia 76ers are projected to win 42.5 games after winning just 24 last year. We know they picked third in the NBA draft. They were tanking in the second half to keep their pick. Last year, it was top 6 protected to OKC. This year, it's top 4 protected. There are still way too many question marks with the 76ers. I'm going under. Jared McCain may miss the first few weeks of the season with that finger injury. Paul George might not even be ready to go opening night. You never know with Joel Embiid, and they may just be a little bit more patient with easing him back in. Not going to play back-to-backs. May miss 25-plus games this year. The Sixers could definitely be in the play-in tournament conversation, and they still have a ton of talent with Quentin Grimes on this one-year deal, who they could trade. You have VJ Edgecombe in his rookie year. Tyrese Maxey can return to his all-star form. I just think there's way too many question marks. I'm kind of done with Andre Drummond in that rotation. And I don't know if like Trendon Watford, Kelly Oubre, Jabari Walker could be the power forwards for this team going forward. They're going to be under for me. Boston is projected to win 41.5 games now with no Jason Tatum this year. I know there's talks about Tatum coming back. I'm just not going to have that into my projection. I don't think Tatum's going to come back. And if he does come back, we're going to hit some crazy medical advancements with that. So I'm going to go under for the Boston Celtics, though. I could see them trading away Anthony Simons at the deadline. Jaylen Brown's going from a 2 to a 1. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard are going to get tougher looks next year. I think they're going to be competitive. I do think they'll be better than the Indiana Pacers, but I don't think they're going to go above 500. The Raptors are projected 38.5 wins. Now, this is a team that I think can exceed expectations this year slightly. I do think they're going to finish around 500. Last year, they won 30 games. I'm going to go over. I would not trust this offense if Brandon Ingram wasn't on it. Brandon Ingram, in my opinion, is going to be by far and away the best offensive player on this team next year. They do have flexibility to make a trade. They have a ton of depth to withstand injuries, and they were also unlucky last year with injuries. Manuel quickly missed a ton of time. Scotty, RJ, all missed a ton of time last year. I like their rookie class over the last 2 years. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I do think they go above 500, or at least close to it, which means they're over hits. And the Brooklyn Nets are projected to win 20.5 games. Last year, they won 26. I mean, last year, I got burned by this. I did not think they were going to go over. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Now, they trade away Schroeder. They trade away Dorian Finney-Smith. And now Cam Johnson isn't on this team anymore. They're going to play a lot of rookies. And there's going to be some good, but mostly bad. Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas are going to take a ton of shots this year. And I do think this is the worst team in the NBA. I'm going to go under. I think they win 19 or 20 games this season, especially if they trade away a Claxton, a Hayward Highsmith, or a Cam Thomas at the deadline. All right, so let's go to the Pacific Division now. Let's talk about the LA Lakers, who are projected to win this division, 49.5 wins. I'm actually going under here. I think the Lakers are going to win between 46 and 48. I'm not really trusting DeAndre Ayton as a rim protector for this team. You're still putting a lot of stock and faith into a 41-year-old LeBron James. Now, I think Luka's going to have a great year. I think Austin Reeves is going to have a great year. I'm a little bit worried about Marcus Smart. I mean, it wasn't pretty the last few years, but he was banged up. I think they will get good role playing out of Marcus Smart, out of Jake LaRavia, and Rui Hashimura. It's just the West is so competitive. And hey, winning 48 or 47 games in this Western Conference is very impressive. So I do think the Lakers will be good. I don't think they go over, though. Now, the LA Clippers are projected to win 47.5 games. Last year, they won 50. I'm going to go over here. Now, you can make an argument the Clippers got better this offseason with adding John Collins, Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, and Bradley Beal. You could also say they got worse this offseason just with everybody being in their mid to late 30s. But I do think that this Clippers team will win over 47.5 games next year. I love the point guard depth behind Harden and Chris Dunn and Chris Paul. I love them getting Brook Lopez. They'd be behind Ivica Zubac. They didn't have a good backup center last year. Derek Jones Jr., still one of the more underrated defenders in the NBA, in my opinion. And they won 50 games last year with Kawhi missing a ton of time in the first half. He's going to be ready to go on opening night as long as he's not suspended. So, hey, if Kawhi does not get suspended this year, I like the over. If the aspiration scandal comes cracking down on the Clippers, I'll go under. The Golden State Warriors are projected to win 46.5 games this year. Last year, they won 48. Now, I love the fit of Al Horford in this offense and defense. He may be the best pure center Steph has ever played with. Even better than like the injured DeMarcus Cousins from the late 2010s. I'm going to go under, though. I feel like the Kuminga situation is really odd. We all know that he's going to get traded, but will they even be able to trade him? Will he adapt to the Steve Kerr offense? I think it's going to be huge to bring back to Anthony Melton. I think Podziemski and Moses Moody could take 2 small leaps this year. And I do think the Warriors are going to go above 500, but they're going to be a playing tournament team, even with Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. I know how good they were last year. I worry about the team dynamic, especially with Jonathan Kuminga in there. So I'm going to go under. So the Sacramento Kings win total projections at 34.5. I'm going over. They won 40 games last year with all the dysfunction, with De'Aaron Fox getting traded, firing Mike Brown. The GM was on his way out as well in Monty McNair. And I don't think they got worse this offseason. They didn't trade away Malik Monk. DeRozan's still here. He's still reliable. Not like he's a ceiling raiser, definitely a floor raiser. Zach LaVine's still here. Domantas Sabonis is still here. I think Keegan Murray is going to have a career season. I love their youngish core. I know they're a little bit on the older side of a young core, but Devin Carter in year number 2. Rookies Nick Clifford and Maxi Murray now I think can make an impact. Keon Ellis as well. I don't love their big man rotation. I don't know why they wanted to trade Valanciunas for Sarge. It's just pretty much to deduct the tax at this point. I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs, but I do think they win over 34 games next year, so I'm taking that over. And the Suns are projected just to win 31.5 games next year. That is very low. I'm going to actually take the under, though. I do think they lose over 50 games, and yes, they can technically go 32-50 in the over cashes, but I just think if Devin Booker misses any time next year, they're going to be maybe the worst offensive team in the NBA. There's a lot of big question marks about Jalen Green in a new system, a new environment. Hey, if they're not even going to be that good, why keep Dylan Brooks past the trade deadline? Why don't you capitalize on a probably seller's market? I'm worried about the big man rotation. It should be better than last year, that's for sure, but Mark Williams hasn't had that much consistency as a lockdown rim protector. Kamon Watch is still a project entering the NBA. They lack some spacing with some lineup iterations, and it's just a tough Western Conference, man. I'm going under. All right, last East Division here. Let's talk about the Southeast Division. The Orlando Magic are projected to win 51.5 games. I'm actually going over. I do think the Knicks and the Cavs and the Magic will be very close to each other at the top of the Eastern Conference. This Magic team built for the regular season. In my one prediction video for every team, this was my prediction that they go over 50 wins. I think Paul Banchero, Franz Wagner are going to have career years. I think we're going to realize how important Jalen Suggs is to this team. I love the pickup of Desmond Bane. They have big man depth. They have wing depth. They have shooting depth now. Adding Tyus Jones as another ball handler. I think Jamal Mosley is going to get the most out of this team. They're going to finish with their first season since 2012 with a top 20 offensive rating. I can guarantee that. And they're going to be one of the best defensive teams in the NBA yet again. The Atlanta Hawks are projected to win 47.5 games. This is a very good line because I think they're going to finish between like 45 and 49. I'm actually going to go with the under here. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for this team to kind of get acclimated with each other. I think you're expecting a lot out of Zachary Boucher in year number 2. How is Trae Young going to look with Kristaps Porzingis? Can Kristaps Porzingis stay healthy this year? What's Okongwu's role on this team? Luke Kennard's now the backup point guard. I like this roster. They're going to make the playoffs in my opinion. And Trae Young could lead the NBA in assists. Jalen Johnson can make the first All-Star game of his career. And Dyson Daniels can make all defensive first team again. All those things can happen and this under can still hit. They're going to be competitive, but I think there's a lot of question marks with the roster. I'm just going to go with a slight under. The Miami Heat are projected to win around 37.5 games next year. I'm going with that over. Now, I don't love this Heat roster. I think they're going to be a playing tournament team, and they may not even make the playoffs. And I am worried a little bit about the Tyler Hero injury. I just think they're going to be competitive, and they're going to have a high floor, and I trust Eric Spoelstra to get the most out of these guys. Bam got off to a rough start shooting the ball last year. I think that's going to be different. I think they're very high on Nikola Jovic this year for a good reason. That's why they gave him the contract that they did. Davion Mitchell was a great pickup last year. They got Norman Powell for basically nothing. Andrew Wiggins with a full offseason, learning from Coach Spo. Khalil Ware in year number 2. How many Hawkins can we show something? I don't think the Heat are going to be great. I don't think they're going to be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference, but I do think they go over 37.5 wins. 27.5 is the Charlotte Hornets win projection. Man, this is a good line because you could just see where everything goes wrong. Last year, they won 19 games, right? Like that could happen yet again with this team. I'm going to go over though. I do think they get around 29 to 33 wins. They have to take a step forward, right? Maybe I'll never believe in them again if they don't this year. I'm so excited about Knipple, Miller, and LaMelo Ball all sharing the floor together. They are going to have arguably the worst big man rotation in the NBA. Oh, it is going to be bad. I know that, but they're going to score a lot of points. And I do think with them playing the Wizards a decent amount and the Miami Heat, they can win some of those games as well as playing like the Chicago Bulls and the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference. It's not going to be pretty on the defensive end. Like I said, I do think they go over. This one's probably going to come back and bite me. And for Washington, 20.5 wins. I'm going over. I mean, I just think this team also has too much talent to not win 20 games this year, at least with the young core. I trust this young core in the regular season more than like the Nets young core. Oh, I still think they're going to win less than 23 games, but they're going to get right in that range for the over to hit. I like veterans like Chris Middleton on this team and CJ McCollum. Probably going to be shipped off after the deadline or the buyout market. But I think Trey Johnson, year 2 for Sarr, Carrington, and George can elevate this roster. Hopefully, Bilal Coulibaly can take a leap this year. I am worried about this one, though. And the last division is the Southwest Division, leading off with the Houston Rockets. 52.5 wins. Oh man, this one is tough. So Fred VanVleet goes down. It was 54.5 before that injury, but I just love Şengün. I love Amen Thompson. Obviously adding Kevin Durant to this team. I do worry about the shooting a little bit. I'm actually going to go under here. I think they go around like 50 and 32, 51 and 31. Last year, they won 52 games. But like I said, I worry about the floor spacing of this group. Now, maybe Amen is a better shooter this year. Maybe Şengün can be a floor spacing 5. Maybe Reed Shepherd can be a consistent starter for them throughout the year. But they are going to defend like crazy. I think they're going to be in a lot of dogfights this year, a lot of low scoring games at times. Having Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter is so clutch. You have Alperen Şengün. I do think they finished with the best record in this division, top 4 seed in the Western Conference. But this one's going to be an under for me. Now, the Spurs are projected to win 44.5 games. Oh my God, this one is so tough too because no Fox to start off the year. Dylan Harper's hurt. They don't have a great floor spacing unit like the Houston Rockets either. I do think Luke Kornet is going to be a big pickup for them as a backup big man. I'm so excited to watch Dylan Harper. And it's just how far can Wemby take them, right? I'm actually going to go under here. I think they get around 42, 43 wins. I think it's still kind of getting acclimated with all these new faces in San Antonio. How much can you really ride Wemby throughout the regular season? They're going to be good. I think they're going to be in the play-in tournament probably, and I'm going to go under here at the top of the Southwest Division. Memphis Grizzlies got 39.5. This one I'm very confident in, which I think is an unpopular take. I'm going under. I do think the Grizzlies are going to end up being one of the worst teams in the Western Conference this year. I mean, they have a lot of talent at the top, right? John Morant was great last year. I think he's going to be great this year. Jaren Jackson Jr. was great last year. Can he be great this year? I think so, but he's going to be starting off the year with an injury. Brandon Clark's hurt. Zach Edey's hurt. So I really worry about that big man rotation, which was an issue for them last year and 2 years ago. Will they get much out of GG Jackson or Vince Williams this year? Jalen Wells in year 2. Rookie Cedric Howard. I think there are a lot of question marks and variants with that young foursome. I like the pickup of Ty Jerome. I like Santi Aldama, but is he going to be your rim protecting 5? Is it going to be Jock Landale? I'm going to go under. It's a tough conference, man. So the Mavericks are actually now projected to win more games than the Memphis Grizzlies. They're at 41.5. I'm going to go over here for Dallas. I think Cooper Flagg is going to help them right away and help them win games without Kyrie Irving. He can kind of be a pseudo point guard. He's going to be a great defender, a solid passer, and a solid shooter right out of the gate. Hopefully Anthony Davis can stay healthy. That's the big if with this team. I do believe they're going to get Kyrie Irving back in January, February. I just also love the depth. Like, you have 3 great big men of AD, like one of the top tier big men, Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. You have so many wings like Caleb Martin in the mix, Najee Marshall, Max Christie, Jaden Hardy, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson. There's so many names that you could just throw on the perimeter. You have Ryan Nembhard, who I think is going to be a full-time player for this team, and D'Angelo Russell until Kyrie Irving comes back, and even Brandon Williams. I like this roster. I think Jason Kidd is a good coach. I think they go over. And last one here, we have the New Orleans Pelicans projected to win 31.5 games. I'm going over for the Pels. I think they're going to be a lot better than last year where they won 21 games, even with all those injuries. We're going to have a healthy Zion, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones to start off the year. Jordan Poole can be a reliable guard for them until DeJounte Murray gets back, and you can put him at the 1 or the 2. They drafted 2 rookies, Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen, who I don't think are going to help them too much throughout the regular season, but are at least bodies out there in case injuries do happen. They had one of the worst big man rotations in the league last year. That will be better with year 2 Yeet Misi and Kevon Mooney in the mix. I think Sadiq Bey is going to be an underrated pickup from that Jordan Poole trade, and Joe Dumars traded away their unprotected first round pick swap for this upcoming draft. So they have no reason to tank or bottom out in the second half. I think they go over. So that is going to be for me. Hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with down below. If you did enjoy, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter links all in the description. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.